How y'all doing, family? Good to be back. I don't think I haven't been on here for a few days. I was out this weekend shaking my tail feather and ended up getting a cold in the process of me shaking my tail feather. Had a really good weekend. I almost did something stupid, but thank God I didn't go all the way to be stupid. I was just halfway stupid, not all the way. But I am glad to be back on this platform. I'm sure it's a lot been going on. Thank you guys, Chicky D. Hi, Angelo, Big Red. Good to see you. I'm glad you guys are here. The few that's in the building. I'm just going to be talking a little bit about don't be taken over by the darkness. Hey, CC, what's good? I got this from shout out. Hey, Double Speaks. Shout out to the family. They do a lot of good commentary about different crime shows. Big Red, about a lot of different crimes that go on in the urban community, and not just the urban community, but just in general. They talk about a lot of different things, and my title was, don't be taken over by the darkness. It's so easy to get on this app, and because you can get the money if you go back and forth with people, the cash apps, yeah, and the cash apps, and what else, you get the super chats, you get all that when you're like, really going back and forth with people, and you can get addicted to it, and then it starts to take over your personality. And I kind of say sometimes that's darkness that's taking over, and darkness can mean a lot of different things for people, but I'm just going to say negativity. Sometimes when you keep doing something, and it becomes to take over you, you're allowing another entity to take over you. And that's how what people do in our everyday life. You have people that preach a good game. They are encouraging. They try to tell other people about how to do things or what's the best route to go. When if you really look at their life behind closed doors, they have allowed darkness in some ways to take over. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And thank you, Chicky D. I got two other channels that I'm working on. One is Selena Tell It Like It Is, and the other one is Selena Delicia Maria Conchita. So I got two different channels coming up. And like I said, I'm not gonna tell y'all right now what they're all gonna be about. I'm gonna surprise you guys. So I would like, if you can sub up, like I said, to Selena Tell It Like It Is and Selena Delicia Maria Conchita, then I would really appreciate that, guys. Thank you. So yes, I am little red, little little thick red. So I appreciate you guys that came through. Like I said, but it's very, hey Tamika, what's good? So it is I would really appreciate if you guys sub up to my other two channels, and can't tell you exactly what's gonna what I'm gonna do with them, but I think you're gonna like them. I'm gonna do something a little different with those other two channels. So yeah, just keep looking out. I would say in the next week or so. So, but anyway, to go back to what I was saying about the don't be taken over by darkness. Sometimes people get so into trying to destroy other people, and they end up, that darkness, that negativity end up taking over them. And even not just with that, even when you have darkness hidden, everything they say, everything you do in the dark will come out in the light. So sometimes people do things in the dark where they're totally different people than what they portray in public, right? They're totally different people. And then when that true person comes out, people are like shocked. People are like, I can't believe that this is actually this person. And we've seen it not only in our lives, but in other people's lives. We see it on the app, how some people, they come on one way on this app, and they turn out to be a total different person in the next year or so, because they feel like, oh, that my name is being talked about. I'm getting the cash apps. I'm getting the memberships. I'm getting all of this, and little by little, that darkness is taking over your soul, and people don't realize it because they don't even know. Some people are so blinded to them being in the dark, they don't even know they're in darkness. And that's really sad to be in that place. You're so far in the darkness, you can't even see you're in the darkness. You're so blinded by it. So that's what people do out here in the world. You know what I'm saying? You've seen it at your church, at your mosque, wherever you go, your job. You see people, you find out they have a total different life. They got a lot of things going on. I got this from the family. And again, they talk about a lot of different crime stories. And like I said, it was this one gentleman. I don't know if you heard about it. He was a minister, a pastor, and he ended up, some pictures was exposed, and and to say the least, social media kind of took over. He was seeing what people were saying about him in social media. He was embarrassed. He felt like probably a failure to his family, and he allowed that darkness to take over him. And darkness could be different for different people. It could be evilness. It could be any type of negativity that comes with shame, that comes with all types of things. So you'll see his story and how the family will capture it. And I want you guys to check it out. Again, shout out to the family. That's where I got this story from. And I think that once you see this, you will kind of understand what I'm saying.
Congregation Church, people with Facebook. I've been an object of an internet attack. An article that was written about my capacity as a mayor, capacity as a pastor. The article is not who or what I am. Yes, I have taken pictures of my wife in the privacy of our home in an attempt of humor, because I know I'm not a handsome man nor a beautiful woman either. I don't mind helping somebody that's not inside my city to understand why things are the way they are, because sometimes it does get confusing.
What's your elevator speech when somebody asks you? You'll say, "Hey, I'm the mayor of Smith Station." What's your elevator speech when you tell them what your community is?
Oh, what is my community?
Also, he was a mayor of his county. So not only was he a pastor, so he was very influential in his community, he was a mayor as well. So just think about something that you have done in your past, and somebody gets the pictures of it, or somebody knows about it, and they display it on social media. Just think about how you would feel.
I could just sum it up to, I always say, well, Mayberry 2023. It really is like everybody knows your name, and you know, everybody dies famous in a small town, and that's what it is, So it's Friday Night Lights. It's Mama's apple pie. It's our community
It really
is
good.
Very, very low crime, very low drug abuse. Our number one problem is suicide, and it's sad. I think a lot of it has to do with military. I think some of it has to do with social media and the reality of that.
Family, I won't take too much of you guys' time, but today I wanted to spread awareness on a situation that was brought to my attention less than 24 hours ago. Speaking of 24 hours ago, family members of the community had told me about their mayor in their hometown had ended up taking his life over social media
Hey, Miss
posts that
Feline.
expose the dark side of his life. My mother once told me, what's done in the dark always come to the light. She was telling the truth. I'm sure many of you guys heard that same quote. Now, this mayor also speaks on being the mayor of a small town, and the main problem in that town is people being responsible for taking their own life. And of course, like we all know, social media played a huge part in that. But we wouldn't think that the mayor of that town, who elaborates on that situation, will fall victim to the same case. Earlier this week, local reports in this small town had exposed pictures on Reddit.
Now, this is some pictures that he took, and he put them on Reddit. I guess that's another social media platform, advertising different things. And this doesn't even look like him, actually. He looked totally different. So I don't know if he was posing for his wife. I have no idea. He said that he did pictures with him and his wife, kind of comical kind of stuff, but to me he had it to where he was advertising it online, and I think he was calling himself Curvy Girl. Yeah.
The day mayor dressing up as a woman and saying explicit content to the public. Now,
Did you see
unfortunately,
what's
the
good?
mayor had took his own life in result of the situation. May he rest in peace. Today, we're gonna send some love and respects to his family. Also, we're gonna spread awareness on this situation, and hopefully, somebody can learn from this. He also spoke about this briefly during his church service because he's also a pastor. Now, it was broadcast on Facebook. I'm gonna let you guys hear a clip. Before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it. Smith Station, just one word, Alabama, is home to about 5,500 residents. The small town has only been established for 21 years. As we mentioned, the mayor of that small town is a man identified as Bubba Copeland.
When people talk to you about moving to Smith Station, obviously you were talking about the schools, the crime. I mean, the school system is the heartbeat of the area, right? I mean, that's your place where the civic engagement is the most noted.
Yeah, we have the 5th largest high school in the state of Alabama. We're a 7A school, and we're a county school, and a lot of people move out there for safety and for our education system.
Now, a platform based in Alabama
Hey,
called
Vanny, what's good?
1819
Very
released this
good.
article on the 1st of November. The Secret Life of Smith Station Mayor and Baptist Pastor F.I. Bubba Copeland as a TG Curvy Girl. It's a hobby.
So basically, this is the same person. He does pretty good with contouring his nose. I thought it could have been his wife or maybe someone else. This is very interesting. But Bubba and condolences to his family. I'm not making light of the situation because this was someone's loved one. But he did this to relieve stress. Okay. And he called himself Curvy Girl. Now he did this in the privacy of his own home. I'm pretty sure I'm assuming his wife was aware of it. So with the pictures being linked, that's pretty interesting that he put the pictures out there, but I guess he didn't think anybody would know that this person, the woman, the transgender woman, was him. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. I don't know. He just wasn't thinking.
I do to relieve stress. Apparently, the person who wrote this article even indeed talked to Mayor Copeland. And of course, we are non-biased, family. This article talked about everything but how he got the pictures. And like they say, family, there's only a couple of ways for you to find out. This article even had photos of him in women's underwears allegedly, which is totally inappropriate. It alleged he went by Brittany Blair, a transitioning TG curvy girl that loves smiling, clothes, and shoes. Let's check IG Brittany Summerlin. Now, the 1st of November was a Wednesday. That same day, he went to his church and addressed these allegations.
Congregation Church, people of Facebook. I've been an object of an internet attack. An article that was written about my capacity as a mayor, capacity as a pastor. The article is not who or what I am. Yes, I have taken pictures of my wife in the privacy of our home in an attempt of humor, because I know I'm not a handsome man nor a beautiful woman either. I apologize for any embarrassment caused by my private and personal life that has come publicly. This will not cause my life to change. This will not waver my devotion to my family, to serving my city, and to serving my church. I'm thankful for the grace of God, the willingness to forgive. I have nothing to be ashamed of. A lot of things that were said were taken out of context. In conclusion, I love my family. They're number one. And again, I'm sorry for what my actions have caused. And I'm thankful for the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that have reached out to me today in love. And I know that there are others that have not, but just know I love you and Jesus loves you as well. If you turn your Bible.
Apparently, he didn't love himself enough because um, he deleted himself from this life. But let's not have such a, because I used to be very judgmental. But when you go through stuff in life and when you feel certain kind of ways, you start to be less judgmental of other people and how they handle things. To be honest with you, all of us have did a lot of things in the dark. All of us have at one point let darkness, let negativity, let, bad behavior take over our better judgment. And if anybody could go back in our lives and actually see all the things that we done that was wrong and we covered it up, we would all be in that same position of embarrassment and shame, just like he is. I'm not as quick as easily to judge people for their faults, because I understand I have my own. I wish he would have loved himself enough not to deplete himself. But sometimes when people are embarrassed, they are very shameful, and they believe that they are a disappointed and a disappointment and a failure to those that are around them, those that looked up to them, those that put them in high esteem. That could do a lot to your psyche if you don't love yourself enough. Some people think that death is the best way to go. But if, like I said, if we look at everybody's life and we put everybody's life on a movie screen, we will see that we may not have done what they done, but we've done something just as bad. We've done something that we wish we could never, that would never, you don't want ever to get out, right? We've all done it. We might haven't done this, but we have done something. The thing that most people don't do is take accountability for it and try to move through it. Some people, they may take accountability of it, but they may just be like, I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. And unfortunately, that's the route that he took.
Psalms chapter 23.
The next day, everybody was trying to get in contact with the mayor. Now, it seems the person who wrote the article spoke to the local news outlet,
Right.
and this is what he had to say.
Exactly.
Story a lot of people are talking about. Baptist leaders in Alabama are responding to allegations against a Phoenix City pastor and local mayor after photos appeared online showing him dressed in women's clothing.
The Baptist organization's response comes 2 days after 1819news.com, an online media organization, published the story along with several photos. News 809's East Alabama reporter Justin Brown following the story for us. He spoke with the reporter who wrote that original story.
And Justin, of course, we want to hear from that reporter. But first, what's the reaction so far in Smith Station?
Yeah, Jason and Barbara, I went to Smith Station tonight to try to speak to some of the members of the community, and a lot of the people have told me they've seen the content, but they did not want to go on camera to share their opinion. The folks in the small city are remaining tight-lipped tonight. This is one of the many pictures posted online by Pastor Bubba Copeland, who is also the mayor of Smith Station, dressed in ladies' clothing, and the article also includes pictures of him wearing women's underwear. Copeland reportedly posted the pictures on social media sites, Instagram and Reddit. AlabamaBaptist.org released the following statement, quote, "We have become aware of the alleged unbiblical behavior related to the pastor of the First Baptist Church of Phoenix City. We are praying for the leaders of the church family as they seek to determine the truth concerning these accusations," unquote. The pictures came to light when an article was posted by 1819.com. Reporter Craig Monger spoke to me via Zoom, explaining how the conversation between he and the mayor went. He says all quotes in his article are true, with the full recorded conversation as proof.
I can tell you this. For
Right.
exactly reasons such as this, and because I live in the great state of Alabama, I record all of my phone conversations that I have for like I said, reasons just such as this.
Reverend and Mayor Copeland addressed the matter earlier in the week in the Wednesday night church service at First Baptist Church of Phoenix City, saying he is the object of an internet attack.
Yes, I have taken pictures of my wife in the privacy of our home in an attempt at humor, because I know I'm not a handsome man nor a beautiful woman either. I apologize for any embarrassment caused by my private and personal life that has come publicly. This will not cause my life to change. This will not waver my devotion to my family, to serving my city, and serving my church.
Now, WTVM has reached out to Copeland many times today via phone calls and text messages, and we have not heard back. Now, we're also going to keep you updated on this story and release more information as it becomes available.
Wow.
Live in Smith Station, Justin Brown for WTVM News Leader 9.
Yes.
After this, making the local news and receiving so much publicity, it seems the next day, the mayor ended up taking his own life. May he rest in peace and love condolences to his family. Copeland, a 49-year-old married father of 3, took his own life at around 5 p.m. Friday, according to Lee County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff's deputies received a request for a welfare check for Copeland at around 4:14 p.m. on that Friday. Copeland was found in Beulah when a slow pursuit was initiated with the mayor's vehicle. Copeland turned to Lee County Road 279 on Lee County Road 275 just north and pulled over. He exited the vehicle and produced a firearm and took his own life, quote unquote, the sheriff's office has said. Very unfortunate situation. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
I really like their commentary. The family, y'all need to check them out. They have a lot of good stories that does not get on the news, and some does. But yeah, basically, and this is why I say it's very you have to be very careful on how you judge people, because darkness can take over a person's mind where they're not even thinking correctly. Vetted said something very interesting. She said when he was talking, it sounded like a farewell, right? And it could have been. Like I said, unfortunately, he didn't love himself enough to give himself grace. Because the fact of the matter is, like I said before, if we uncovered everybody's life and we were on a movie and people could see what we did when we were 8 years old, when we stole that candy from the store, or 10 years old when we was doing stuff with the neighborhood boy, or stuff like that. I'm not saying I have, but I'm just giving you an example. Or when you were 15, when you slipped out of the house and you weren't supposed to, and your parents were looking for you, or when you were 18 and you and your friends went somewhere and did some things, did some drugs, or did whatever that you weren't supposed to do. If we all go back in our life, there has always been something, and there will always be something we do not want people to uncover. And one thing Juicy said something about this exposure culture, and everybody wants to expose people. Everybody wants to take people and uncover their lives. But what about when someone uncovers their life? What if somebody uncovers everything that they did wrong? And at first I was thinking, well, maybe I said, well, that didn't make sense if he put the stuff out, but it had to be somebody else that maybe wanted to take his position or did not like him, and maybe found the I would say maybe found some of this information and put it out there. Hey, Bama, what's good? And put it out there. So I'm thinking that's what could have happened. But people are so busy trying to expose other people's lives. But what we all need to realize is we reap what we sow. When we uncover somebody else's life, somebody is waiting to uncover yours. That's why you should never get happy, even if it's your enemy at times, being happy when their own personal life, their private life is being out there on the platter. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be your time. It could be you. Now, some people will say they deserve it because they did so much dirt to other people. Yeah, you could say that to an extent. But at the same time, don't be happy in somebody else's misery because it can come back to you. Oh, Selena, okay, let me read. Selena, I believe he posted these pics of himself on some type of site for people that's into that. Right, because he did say he was a transgender curvy woman. You know, so I'm assuming that, you know, he wanted that type of attention. And most people have not dealt with a lot of things that they've been through in the childhood. So, you know, he may have had some tendencies to where I'm not gonna say maybe homosexual tendencies, but he may have always been fascinated with how women dress up. You know, some little boys, if they are really been around women a lot, they might not be gay, but they might have the tendency to dibble and dabble in that because they seen their moms or their aunties or their sisters dress up and they have a fascination towards it, right? It doesn't always mean that they're homosexual, but he could have had some things that have happened to him when he was younger that made him very curious about dressing up as a woman, right? So we don't know that, you know, that hasn't been you know, displayed, or we haven't heard anything of that nature. But we, like I said, there's always something in our childhood that molds us into or gets us curious or exposed to certain things that maybe we shouldn't have been exposed to. And that just goes for everyone. Like I said, a lot of people really struggle with a lot of lust. When they were growing up, they may have been molested and took the touching as love, took the and as affection. And when they get in a teenager and they become an adult, they become addicted to sex or they struggle with lust, and it takes over them and it starts to interfere in every relationship where they are serial cheaters. So they have no self-control. And that's not all, that's some of the time. Some of the things that happen to us, they really affect us. And depending on how we deal with it, sometimes we allow that darkness to overcome us. And basically, like I said, the darkness is the negativity that comes with shame, that comes with embarrassment and hatred and all type bitterness. All of that is darkness that takes over us. Being angry all the time. It's okay to be angry, having, you know, about certain things that are, you know, when you see people have been treated unfair or you've been unfair, but to allow it to take over your life, it can set you up to have a lot of bitterness and hate in your heart. And that's when the bitterness and all of that darkness takes over your soul. And so you see how people are in the social media, even with, like I said earlier, when they're on YouTube or any type of social media platform where they're getting money. You know, they used to say, people used to get this backwards. The love of money is the root of, no, they said money is the root of all evil, but it's not money, it's the love of money. And when you get people on here that have the love of money, that stem in some type of greediness, selfishness, pride, all of that mixed together. And then that darkness takes over. So they'll do whatever it takes. They'll even become different people, or they'll become darker just to get the money, the cash apps, the notoriety from other people that they are a bad mofo, you know, because they have that love for money. You know what I'm saying? And so darkness takes over them with their greed, with their pride, with their selfishness. You have to learn how to, and I do too, how to balance our life to not allow darkness to take over our senses. Because when darkness takes over, our reasoning is left. It's gone. It's gone. You can't see anything because you're blinded in darkness. And what do you do when you're in darkness? Can you see anything? Just think about it. When you go into a dark room, you're fumbling everywhere, trying to find a light, trying to find some type of window to see some type of opening of a little light. That's how people are when they're in darkness. They are stumbling around a dark room, trying to find some light. And some people don't even try to find the light. They just sit there in the darkness. And that darkness takes over them. And then whatever they got in them that's negative is going to come out. Hey, free thinkers, what's good? And this is what's going on. So when you got people that is on the YouTube, the Instagram, when you got people living double lives, this man was a minister. Not only was he a minister, a man of the cloth, that supposedly he should, you would think that ministers have faith, faith in God and what they're preaching. But see, this is what happens when preaching is not a part of you, when it's not really, it's just a facade. And I'm not saying anything bad about this man. Like, God be with him. I hope that he's at peace. Hey, CKJ. But what I am saying is sometimes when people do a lot of talking and preaching and trying to be a different person in front of people, they are not living what they preach. And they're struggling in that darkness, trying to find themselves, trying to really be the person that they really want to be, but they can't because that darkness is taking over. They're preaching something that they don't even believe. And I don't even understand how that happens, but it does. A lot of people have different roles, or they have different people that they are. Like they're this person that's preaching, upstanding citizen of the community. Then you got them over here raping little girls and boys. See, this is what people do when they live a double lifestyle. They have allowed darkness to take over to where they have such a double lifestyle. They don't even know who they are at the end of the day. They're just going through the motions because it looks good. It sounds good. People are noticing me. I'm getting sponsorships. I'm getting money. I'm getting honor from other people. And at the end of the day, it's about you and your creator. It's about who you really are when you turn off the lights or when you turn on the lights. Are you still the same person? Or have you allowed that darkness to take over you to where it has blinded you from what is good? And I think that too many people in the church and outside of the church, they get so lost in a role. It's not really who they really are. I would say if you're going to do anything, speaking in front of people about God or anything, let your own self be a testimony. Let who you really are be the sermon. Okay? Because there's so many people that sound good. They have so much fluff. It's just fluff because they don't believe it. There's countless of stories where people that should know right from wrong, that people that talk about what is right, have a total different lifestyle than what they preach or what they teach. And like I said, sometimes they're more they talk about the light, but they're so filled with darkness. And basically, Darkness is stuff that you continue to keep allowing to seep in your soul. You keep allowing the hate that you feel for other people take over you. You keep allowing the bitterness that you feel for somebody that did something to you in 7th grade. You keep allowing all those things, all those negative experiences to take over you, till one day you look up, you have wasted most of your time being hateful, being envious, being bitter at somebody that has moved on or that has already died. And sometimes you can't, the darkness is not being able to forgive yourself for the things that you've done. And I think with this gentleman here, with what he was ashamed of that came out, he allowed that shame, that regret, that I would say unforgiving of himself take over his mindset. And that caused him to delete himself. And he's not the first, and he's definitely not the last. There will be more people, unfortunately, that go through life and they have all the potential to do great and wonderful things. But when they make mistakes, they allow their guilt, that shame to take over their better judgment. Or they allow their struggles to make them feel like they can't get away from their struggles, that they can't be better people. Hey, D, what's good? I know a woman who passed on this app last week, and her ops still talk about her like a dog. Wow, that's crazy. Darkness has taken over people's soul where they don't even have empathy and sympathy over people. I don't care if it's people that I don't like, and I wish I could dog walk them, literally. If something were to happen to where they lost their life, I'm not going to sit up here on this platform saying that's what them niggas get. That's what they get. They was evil. They was this. They was that. They was that. That is so uncalled for. But people are so, I would say, they are so taken over by darkness that they don't see anything wrong with talking about somebody that just died, whether they like them or not. To me, it is inappropriate and it's heartless. That's just my opinion on it. Is there more of his secret life to be revealed? It seems extreme to take your own life from the beginning, caught being a cross-dresser, drag person, not taken away from anything he has been battling with. I'm thinking it is. To be honest with you, Vetted, I don't know, because I think this just happened last week. So last Friday, I believe he deleted himself. So I don't know if there is more. I'm assuming it could be. Maybe he was cross-dressing, and maybe he did have affairs on his wife that his wife is not aware of, with maybe the same sex or opposite sex. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure there is more to come out. We just don't know yet. But he had to be dealing with battling with some demons that made him feel like you're not going to get out of this. People are going to laugh at you. People are going to taunt you. You might as well just take yourself out. What's the point of you being here? You're an embarrassment to your family and your friends. And who's going to look up to you as a mayor, seeing you in a dress or in a wig? Like, so those are what those entities are probably saying to him. And that's why he went into that depression, to where he said, there's no way out. Hey, Tamika, what's good? Like I said, we have to be very careful what we're listening to and who we're listening to. I believe that there's evil and good everywhere we go. This is a spiritual battle. Not everything is physical where we can see. And a lot of times the things that we feel are sometimes not always coming from us. It could be a negative entity around us or in the atmosphere that would create thoughts in our minds that make us feel worthless, that makes us feel like we can't go on, that we can't make it, that we are better off deleted. I'm just saying. Right. People are always going to judge one way or the other. Right. And you have people that do have platforms, like Realist was saying, and they spew the darkness all the time. And people that are supporting them can't see it because they're in the darkness as well. They feel like whatever these people saying, even if it's destroying somebody's character, even if it's assassinating someone's self-esteem or self-image, they are rallying this kind of behavior because they are in the darkness too. Some people like the bad behavior. Some people like the darkness. Some people they enjoy tearing other people down. They don't even have to know you. And that's why social media is very dangerous at times. It can be a blessing, but it can be very dangerous with the right or the wrong person. Let me tell you why. When you have somebody that knows that they have a platform, or they know they have a different type of a power or some type of influence over a certain group of people, they can make other people believe that the darkness is the right thing to do. It's always been said, and some people don't believe in the Bible, but it's always said they will say right is wrong and wrong is right. And that is what we're seeing today. People get on their platforms and they want to destroy people. And then you got people that don't even know them. And they're in there saying, get them, laughing, enjoying the show while they're destroying somebody else that's just one step to thinking that they want to take their life. And to be honest with you, I don't know who to blame, because sometimes I feel like the person that's on the other end that's actually being bullied or terrorized, they have to love themselves enough to not allow what other people's words do to them, get them down to the, cut them down to the heart, especially if they don't know them. But everybody doesn't have that mindset. Everybody does not love themselves. Some people struggle with their self-esteem. Some people struggle with seeing that they're worth anything. So when you find those type of people, and then you got another person that's an antagonist that's constantly trying to destroy another person, this is the recipe for disaster. And this is why it can sometimes be a very dangerous thing. This man knew what he did was not the best thing. He knew he allowed his flesh, he allowed his bad behavior, I would say, I don't know if it's bad behavior, but he knew that it was likable, that it wasn't going to be likable in his role as a mayor or a pastor, right? So he knew that he was going to get a lot of backlash, and the things that people were saying about him in the social media, that probably hit his heart. That made him feel like, I can't come out of this. I'm an embarrassment to my whole community. And the community that he is a part of is very small. One thing about in the small communities, like small country towns, everybody knows everybody. Everybody's talking. When they see you in the store or they see you in a restaurant, they're looking, they're staring. He was probably thinking all those things. And even when his last days that he was here, people were probably looking at him. They were staring. They were whispering. And where he thought his alter ego or his alternate lifestyle was secret, and it came exposed where everybody knew it. Everybody could see it. People were laughing. People were like, I can't believe, and they put this guy on a pedestal because he was an upstanding citizen. So he felt like he disappointed not only himself, but he disappointed the ones he loved. He disappointed the ones that revered him. And this is what you have. And that's why I said social media can be the worst thing, but it can be a blessing. It just depends on whose platform it is. I'm going to say that. Some platforms are meant to destroy people, and some platforms are meant to build people up. And that's just point blank. I never wanted any of my platform to be where I'm tearing somebody down. But I do want to get in somebody's ass if they keep coming for me. So that's two different things. Most people platform is sometimes to destroy, to bring down, to expose. How dare you think you have the audacity to expose someone when you got your own stuff to deal with? When you got your own sins? You trying to throw the stone at me, and you did the same thing last year. But people throw stones because they want to make themselves feel good about their lives. And really, their lives can sometimes be more messed up than yours. But you got those people that want to throw them stones. They want to make you seem like the worst person in the world when they got their own nasty stuff in their closet. See, we all have something. Right. It's a projection and deflection. It's all of it. It's like, let me get the heat off of me and put it on somebody else. Because I know my life is really messed up, but I feel like your life is worse. So let me uncover it and show how such a scam artist, how such a whore, how such a bad person you are. Yeah. It's just all about clicks, views, notoriety, making yourself feel better about your lousy life. And if you notice, if we go behind some of these content creators, some of the gossip, I would say some of these gossip advocates or people that try to expose even some of the stars' lives, you'll find out that their life is just as worse. They need drugs to wake up and they need drugs to go to sleep. They can't stand being alone. That's why they always around people. That's why they always at parties. They can't even go to sleep at night because they're scared of what they might see or what might come up in their mind. See, it's a lot of people that got so much darkness in them. They're just like that person I talked about in the room, just sitting there or standing still. They just try, they can't find no light in it. They ain't trying to find no light. They just sitting there. They're complacent with being in the darkness. Hey, Eshu, what's good? They're complacent in being in their darkness. They're complacent with being jacked up and then pointing the finger at other people. So watch those who are always trying to expose someone else. Be very careful of the people that's always having a platform or always having the finger pointing at other people, because you will surely find out that they have no room to talk. I, again, don't judge this man because I understand that whatever I do, my stuff can be brought up too. Thank God I got enough sense not to be taking pictures and giving them to people. But anything you or I have done, it can be exposed. And that's why it's really good not to point the finger at other people and say, well, at least I didn't do that. At least I didn't do this. But you did something. Hey, Tough Love, what's good? I really hope that people can see that this man is just like one of us. We're all human, and we all do some really stupid stuff at times. Some things we wish we can take back, but we know we can't. But I would say don't let that darkness take over you to where you give up on your life, that you feel like you cannot recover. And it may take you a while to recover, but with time and being patient with yourself, you can get there. That's why when I hear certain preachers or different people that have platforms and they're talking a good game and making it feel like, oh, they really got it all together, those are the ones you definitely need to watch, because none of us do. None of us have it all together, and some of us, quite frankly, are more jacked up than others. But we won't know that, because guess what? You got to deal with your own stuff. We all have our things where it's some things that's like, don't think you better than nobody else. I heard within the last 2 years, I have heard more preachers and pastors taking their own life. Worship leaders, the ones that's supposed to be bringing the music and getting people into worship when they come to church, those are the main people that take their lives. Why isn't it that what you preach, what you live, is not adding up to what you actually believe? It does not make sense to me. I'm not going to tell you something that I don't believe in. I learned a long time ago, your stuff will find you out. Your stuff will find you out, good or bad. So I think sometimes we as people stop putting people on a pedestal. We're all on the same playing field when it comes to God, when it comes to our Creator. We're on the same playing field. So don't think you're better than the next man because you didn't do this or say this. You did this over here. Oh, and you forgot 2 years ago you did this. Or somebody can say, I remember last year you took a nude picture. See, it's always something that we do. And then when you put it on social media and people, your enemies, get a hold to it, they make it worse. So that's why I say you can't allow that darkness to take over your better judgment. And that darkness can have you so confused and so embarrassed and so bitter that you start doing other things that you shouldn't do. And that's what I see when I see Preacher Man, Mr. Bubba, and I forgot his last name, but the young man the man that we're talking about today, how whatever he had going on with his past, whatever he had going on, even in his current situation, he allowed that to take over his better judgment. And that's where you find that people delete themselves because they can't take the shame. They can't take the embarrassment. I'm gonna, put my link out if anybody issue shout out to Gary and everybody that has a YouTube channel in here. Mods, put it in the chat as well. Gary is a small content creator just like me. I'm going to get him some more numbers. It's a very encouraging. He has a lot of wisdom. And sometimes people overlook things like that. They're so busy with the other stuff that's going on, with people fighting over this or going back and forth. And sometimes that has its place, but that can be overwhelming. I support who I support, but sometimes I be in the bushes because I just sometimes my I can't deal with a lot of this all the time. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I try my best not to allow darkness to take over me because, hey, America Most Wanted was good. Because sometimes you can get really influenced by stuff that you have to be very careful that you kind of set limits on when you're dealing with being on social media. You have to give yourself limits. You can't be on here all the time with the negativity. It has its place, but it's a bit much. And I found myself not going on certain platforms because I'm just tired. I'm tired of seeing the same thing. I'm tired of hearing the same thing. So when you have content creators that are like Gary, that are like some other people in the chat, you thank God for it, because it's like, it's not all about the foolishness. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, everything has its place. And shout out to The Word. I don't know what exactly happened to his channel, unfortunately. I think his channel was demonetized. So my prayers go up for The Word. Hopefully he can get back his monetization. Because he did have a lot of valuable, and he still does have a lot of valuable information that people need to know. But yeah, it's too many chat watchers in the sector. Right. I find, I don't know what happened, Realist, but I feel like maybe somebody may have did something or reported him. I don't know what has happened, but I hope that he can get it back, because some of the people that you would think that their monetization would be taken away because of their behavior, they seem to get a free pass. So, hey, Meek. So I'm a little confused at why his channel was demonetized. Do you know, Realist, what happened? Because I don't understand why it was demonetized. It doesn't make sense. But it's people like that now. They kind of, to me, it's like they have a microscope on. Why would you do that to a person that has content trying to uplift people, trying to inform people? And that's the same with what I do over here. You're not going to hear me going back and forth with too many people on here. Like I said, sometimes I say what I have to say and I move on. They can stay going out. Like I said, I ain't taking none of them Negroes with me in 2024, God willing. Say what you want to say. But when you have content creators that actually have something to actually say worthwhile, There seems to be a microscope on those type of people. Oh, okay. Well, then, dang. Well, if it's reused content, to me, it don't seem like it should have been demonetized. That's weird. Hey, Tough Love, what's good? And Tough Love has a good platform as well. Tough Love is always about trying to bring people together too. But it just seems like I said, it's like a microscope is on certain people. And right, issue they want to put a muzzle on something that is uplifting when you got people destroying each other, trying to expose people all the time and all this weird stuff, but they seem to keep it going. But that just goes to show you the world we kind of live in, where they applaud bad behavior. They applaud bad behavior, you know, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate that they applaud that type of behavior. But other people that's actually wanting to do something totally different. Hey DJ, what's good? They want to take away a part of some of the, you know, they income. It's really messed up. So I hope that eventually he will get it back. So like I said, let's just put him in our prayers for that. Unfortunately, this had to happen. So it just, I don't know, it's just kind of disheartening to me on some stuff. But yeah, they're right. It doesn't apply. The rules don't apply to people that do negative content, but it applies to people that are actually wanting to uplift people and encourage people. That's really interesting. So, like I say, I work. So, you know, this is a blessing to be monetized, but I work. So, if they do feel like they want to do something, hey, I ain't gonna stop them. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I work. That's why I go to school to build a better life for myself. So YouTube or no other platform gonna stop that. But I am grateful, but at the same time, I don't hold my breath either. But shout out to the word. I hope the best for him. And, you know, let's just keep supporting him. Like I said, a lot of times he be going too late and I have to get up in the morning. So I go through, press the like button, or sometimes I even share his content. And that's what we need to do to all the small content creators that are trying to show the light. We're used to the darkness. That's what's out here. When you have people that's trying to show the light, lift them up. Share their page. Don't be selfish. You know what I'm saying? Give them a 5 minutes or so of your time to see what they're talking about. You know, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't understand people that sit up for hours and hours listening at stuff that is so nasty to other, they like to hear people being exposed and turn people down, and they can sit up there for hours and hours laughing and listening to that foolishness. But when it comes to something like this, they'll come through here 5 minutes, and some of them don't even push the like button and keep going. But see, this is the state of the world, and they'll say, well, sometimes people content trash. But is it because you trash, or you got a trashy way in your heart, in your mind? You know what I'm saying? They want to talk about other people's content is trash, but are you? See, you can't accept, you can't, how can I say this? Sometimes people attract what they are, if that makes sense. You like trashy stuff, most of the time you're a trashy person. You know what I'm saying? And don't think just because I like certain people that I agree with everything they say and do. because that would be a lie. You know what I'm saying? But there's certain things I might like about them. What I don't, I turn it off and go to something else. Your content is your character. Be consistent in your message. You don't have to be perfect. Right. Tough love. And that's what most people need to understand. You don't have, I'm not perfect. So when I come on here and I every now and then let a cussing word slip out, you know, I wasn't trying to, but at the same time, that's how I was feeling at the time. Do it make it right? No, I ain't saying it make it right, but that's what happened. That's what I did. And I don't, you know, and it is what it is. Do I recommend it? I tried not to do it because guess what? I want people to know that I have more of a vocabulary than saying bitch, shit, bitch ass nigga, all that kind of stuff. I have more of a vocabulary, so I use it. And then it doesn't always look good on a young lady. It don't look good on anybody, but especially a young lady to go around saying stuff like that. But that's just my opinion. And I have more of a vocabulary. So I try to make sure that I'm being who I am and not trying to be another character. Like I was telling you about these people that get so sucked into that darkness, they got two different personas. They got, you know, and I always mess with y'all when I talk about Delisha, because Delisha is a part of me. That's really another part of me of really who I am when I get upset. And that's one of my middle names. So I'm being me. But, you know, like I said, I don't be saying it as far as I got an alter ego. But some of these people, they really feel like they really got an alter ego, or they got two different, you know, it's two different people. You know, that kind of weird stuff. Yeah, like I said, you know, every now and then I might let a few words slip out. And it's really because sometimes I be trying to, you know, you have to kind of, in some ways, be on other people's level that they understand. Because some people don't understand when you're being nice and when you're being articulate and you're trying to be proper. Some people understand when you get real stupid. So, and then at the time, it just depends on how I'm feeling. Because like I said, I can go either way. So I really try not to go that other part. But if I have to, then, you know, I have to. I do. Now, I don't have to. It's just I choose to. Let me correct that. But some people say, she lying on that, you know. So, hey, let me just say, let me correct that. But put the link in the chat. Anybody that wants to come up for a few minutes, you are more than welcome. We're talking about the darkness and how people they stay in the darkness. It's like they in a room and they ain't trying to find no light. They just in that room. They standing or sitting, and they're complacent with being in the darkness. Yeah, right, Juicy. Every once in a while, I will go there to make a point. But, you know, I don't like to stay there either. Some of these folks ignorant, and they don't understand you being nice. They don't understand. Let's live and let live. Let bygones be bygones. Bless your enemies. Turn the other cheek. They don't understand that. They understand, bitch, if I see you, I'm going to whoop your ass. That's what they understand. And unfortunately, some folks, you got to, yeah, Betty. So I say, I don't know. Some of these folks out here, like I said, they're so blinded by the darkness. They so full of it. They can't even see they're in there. They can't even see that they're in the place. They can't see it. They're blind. Some people are so comfortable with the darkness that light scares them. Right. That's why you won't get a certain type of people over here. Now they might be nosy trying to see what I'm saying if I'm talking about them. But for the most part, you're not gonna really get them to want to I guess, hear something really different, because they are so used to a certain type of content. They're used to a certain type of energy that they can't even phantom something that is good. That's something that's different. You know, yeah, realists, they get up at AM to tear somebody down, the next man or next woman, then they do it all over again in the evening, then they do it all over in the morning, the next morning. And that's an unfortunate way to live your life. That's an unfortunate way. Do you know that we are stewards of our own time? And how we use our time, it says a lot about us. We are stewards of our own time. Most people don't realize that. Do you know you don't have enough time to waste? You don't have any time to waste. You don't know if the next minute you're going to be here. You could drop dead of a heart attack, God forbid. You get hit by a car. Anything could happen to you in the next 5 to 10 minutes or the next minute. And when we don't use our time in a good way, we are the ones that are missing out. We are the ones that have wasted precious time because we wanted to be in the foolishness. And most people don't even realize that. I had some things that I realized. I said, you know what? My birthday's coming up November the 25th. And I said, you know what? I'm getting older. I don't have a lot of time to be wasted on situations, on people, on certain things that just don't matter to anything. They're a waste of my precious time when I could be focusing on so many other things that are actually worth it. You have no time to waste. You have no time to keep being hateful. You have no time to keep being messy. You have no time to keep having bad behavior every day, every second. You constantly tearing somebody down. You don't have enough time for that. Your time could be taken from you in a split second. And you wasted your time. You know what people will remember you for? How you made them feel. That's what people will remember. I ain't talking too much about people on the internet, because them folks don't know you no way. But I'm talking about people that you actually meet, that you actually are around. They're going to remember how you made them feel. They're not going to remember, oh, she had a nice cocoa bottle shape, or oh, she talked really well. They're going to remember if this person actually made them feel good or bad. Vetted, you said yeah. I went from 20 up to my 30s, and I'm like, what the hell? Look how time has flied. You think you have the whole world ahead of you. You don't know that. It's some people that died when they was 34. It's some people that died when they was 6. It's some people that died when they was 21. But they thought they had so much time. And some of them wasted their time on foolishness. But people will remember not how good you talk, not how good you look, not so much what you did I would say just something like on the internet. They're going to remember how you made them feel. And unfortunately, you're right, Tough Love. Unfortunately, most people don't think about what could happen. It's always living in the moment. And unfortunately, that is to their demise. When I meet people in person, especially if they haven't did anything and we're just, getting to know each other, I want people to feel good when they are around me. I want people to feel like, man, I met a cool person today. I met a genuine person today. It's good when men or women, they like your aesthetics, how you look. But that kind of stuff doesn't last. It's about how you make a person feel when they're around you. And unfortunately, we don't have enough people to think about our time and how we use it and how we impact other people. I've met some people. I don't know if I told y'all about that story. When it was a lady, I used to work as a school resource officer for a church. But they also had a private school as well. Private school, and it was a church. But it was a lady that used to be a member up there. This lady had a very nasty personality. I mean, it was like I felt like she was Satan's daughter herself, and she was old enough to be my mom, to be honest with you. She was probably in her 60s. And this woman just had a nasty demeanor about herself, and she was snooty. So that was a bad combination to have a nasty, hey, Pinky Pink, what's good? It's a nasty disposition to be snooty and a nasty personality. And this woman was so cruel to me when I used to work there. And I didn't even know the lady. I'm just going to be honest with you. I went in one day because the church owns also a thrift store. So we would have to go around to the different properties to check the different properties. And she was working in the thrift store, and I would say, hey, how are you doing? And she automatically, when she saw me, she judged me because I could tell her reaction when she saw me. She looked at me up and down. And most of the time, y'all women know. Y'all know when a woman looking at you up and down. They looking at you like, And I'm like, lady, I don't even know you, but okay. So I just looked and I spoke, and I went on about my way. And later on, I was up there talking to a few people up in front of the store and talking to another officer. And she came up there and she said, and by the way, my name is Robbie. And I looked at that woman like, what I was saying was not a Christian, but what I was saying was like, bitch, I don't care. But I just looked at her. And I said, well, anyway, y'all, it was nice talking to you. I ignored her like she didn't even exist. I'm like, girl, bye. I don't know you like that. And I'm really trying my best not to act a fool in this Christian organization. So I just said, I told the people that I was talking to, I said, oh, okay, I'll talk to y'all later. Nice to meet you. Later on, one of the officers told me that he confronted her, even the manager, because they said, what she did was really kind of ugly. And I said, well, I'm glad that you saw that, because then they'll be thinking I'm being a victim, trying to say somebody was rude, So ever since then, I also went to report her to a supervisor. Saying, you old heifer. So I went to go report her to a supervisor. So ever since then, she hated me. Because I'm like, you, first of all, you too old, number one, to be acting like that. And you're in an establishment where you're supposed to be showing Christian love. Oh, I don't even know you. So after that happened, she couldn't stand me after that. So I was like, that's cool. Just stay away from me. So another incident, that was the night, I believe, it was the night that my dad had went into the hospital. And so one of my sisters called me and said, hey, you got to go up to the hospital and spend the night. I'm not going to be able to do it. My other sisters weren't able to do it, or my brother. So I said, okay, that's fine. So I was already dealing with something previously before that. See, that's why I don't know if y'all ever heard that saying, be kind to people. You don't know what people are going through. I had thoughts about my father. I was concerned about my father, if he was going to make it, if he was going to be okay, because he had some health issues. So I was going through a lot that night, and I had a lot on my mind. She came in the office. Well, she knocked on the door in the office that I was in. And unfortunately, when I saw her, I was like, oh my God, do I have to deal with this tonight? So I was like, yes, ma'am. And I'm trying to keep my composure because I'm just trying to. I said, how can I help you? And she was like, I'm looking for my umbrella. So I said, okay. I said, well, how does your umbrella look? I'm trying to keep my tone all the way together because I know that I am at work and I have to have a professional demeanor. And so I was just trying to keep it cool. So I said, well, how does your umbrella look? And she said, it's black with polka dots on it. So I was like, oh my goodness, this lady is so angry. So I said, okay, ma'am, let me look for it. So while I'm looking for an umbrella, I'm praying to myself that I keep myself under composure. So as I'm trying to keep myself under composure, I am getting a little hot. I can feel myself getting red. And once I get red, I'm feeling a certain kind of way. My tone on my face is changing. So I know I'm kind of trying to keep myself together so I won't pop off. Because I'm dealing with other stuff I'm going through too, right? So I go to the door and I say, I'm sorry, but your umbrella is not in here. But if it comes up, I will get one of the officers to let you know. And she was like, whatever. And she slammed the door in my face. So it was a heavy duty door, security door. So they had a very heavy duty door. And I said, and I opened the door again. I said, I'm gonna tell you one more time, ma'am. I'm gonna tell you this time, don't you slam this I said, don't slam this door in my face. And then she said, I can do whatever I want to. I said, do it again if you want to, ma'am. I'm gonna show you. I said, don't touch this door. And if you do not slam this door in my face. I've done nothing to you. And she's going back. And so she said something. I said, look here. I said, why are you sitting up in church all this time in the first row and you ain't learning nothing at your age? Is a shame. It's shame on you. I said, with your evil self. I said, you have no business being the way you are and then going up there on the front row praising the Lord. I said, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I said, you old enough to be my mama, and I have to tell you this. So, of course, she ran over. Anyway, whatever. And she went over. So I called my supervisor to let them know what happened, because I knew she was going to go to the supervisor trying to get me in trouble. So after everything was said and done, the point of me telling you all of this, there's a lot of people that pretend to be so holier than thou, and really they are the devil. You have to be very careful that what you're speaking is actually what you are trying to live. Now, on the flip side of that, nobody is perfect. So we're not going to get it all right. We're not going to do it all right. But don't try to talk about something that you are not actually trying to live out yourself. That's the point of me saying all of this. And I think a lot of people miss that because they're so busy trying to have a persona. They're so busy trying to look good in front of other people when they are really not that person themselves. So I'm going to always tell y'all, because I work on myself and I make sure that whatever I'm telling you, that I'm actually practicing it for myself. You're not going to find me in the next year or so talking about, Just keep it together. Don't give up on yourself. And then you find out I deleted myself because I couldn't deal with the pressures of life. And that's what people do. They talk a good game, but when it actually comes to applying it to their life, they cannot do it. They cannot do it because what they are preaching and teaching is not real to them. That's why. So when you start to learn different things and you start to have faith in certain things and you start to see yourself in a way, in a light, you are not going to be so easily deterred by life at times. You're going to take what you know, you're going to take what you've learned, and you're going to use it to your best ability to make the best out of it. And that's all I'm saying to you. Don't put nobody on a pedestal. Don't even put yourself on a pedestal. But whoever you are, let it be who you really are. If you're a gay person and you are trying to be married, be gay. If you are a heterosexual and you're trying to be something that you're not, be who you are. Be who you are. And the reason why I use that, because there's too many download people, and it's too many in the church. There's a lot of download people in the church. There's a lot of download people that have these type of positions in political field because they want to have an image. Be who you are, because the only person you have to answer to is God. Don't come trying to be other people to make yourself fit in or feel good around other people, because guess what? Your stuff is going to find you out. Take accountability for who you are. Take accountability for who you are not. And keep it pushing, because you got to live with you. And that's the moral of this story. So I hope you guys will be blessed. I hope you guys push the like button. Again, thank you for joining me tonight. I do have 2 other channels that are coming out that I'll be doing some different type of content. So please sub up to those channels. I'll probably be going live on them one day this week or whatever. So just keep looking out for that. But I do have 2 channels that I think Cheeky put in the chat. So please sub up to those channels. Thank you guys for coming through, whether it was a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, as long as you press the like button, share my channel. And guys, I hope everybody shared their channel in here as well. Let me see. Sometimes the best way you can protect yourself from people who either come with bad energy or just always looking to be about, okay, I just simply go the other way in every way. Right. And you have to, because you will find yourself in stuff that you have no business being a part of. But because you're going in with the crowd, you get blindsided. If you get blindsided, and then that darkness takes over. So don't let the darkness take over you. Know who you are. Don't try to be somebody else. If that's not you, that's not you. You'll never hear me acting like I'm 2 totally different people, because the real me is always going to come out. The real you is always going to come out. So just be yourself. And that's the moral of this story. And yeah, just don't let the darkness take all over you. Don't let it overtake you. Let your good outweigh your bad. Everybody have a blessed night. Love you to Reese's Pieces. I'll probably be back tomorrow. I'm not for sure, but God willing. So y'all be blessed. And again, love you to Reese's Pieces. Bye.